We did say we were going to start promptly on time. It's 9:02, so I am going to get rolling. We'll have people jumping in as we go, but that's all right. They'll get up to speed or they can watch the recording, right? So today is a little bit different. We aren't going to start with wins because you're going to share your wins later on, and in later on, I mean probably like
5 minutes.
5 minutes. So we'll just we're going to jump right in. The basic premise here, I will share my screen if things work correctly. There we go. The basic premise here was, how do we get our mind focused on the future? What do we do? How do we do it? And, as opposed to waiting to January to do that, we wanted to kind of preload and pre-launch 2024 so that as we go into the break, we've got it in the back of our mind. We're thinking about it. We're taking that cool down period to get ready to ramp up and dive in hard. We have experienced this for the last few years within our coaching community, the coaches that we work with, and we've seen the power of that, of going into a cool down period with kind of your mindset, your plan in action, and getting crouched, ready to run like a cheetah, right? You're not there yet. You got everything ready. You're eyeing the situation and you're prepared. And so we wanted to give you guys that same experience because we found the power in it. We've seen hundreds of other companies that are blowing up because of the tools that we're going to be introducing throughout 2024. And one of them is this 6-week project filter that we use ourselves. And we figured since it's good enough for us, it's probably good enough for you guys too. And it's been vetted by several, $100 million worth of other business improvements, hard to argue with. So that's going to be the focus of the day. The 6-week cycle outline is basically, we're going to follow this format going forward. We're going to have roadmap driven transformation. We're going to use the master business flow chart and the org chart for breaking down those sections to focus on and look at so that we can kind of drive from a place of knowing the processes that work, the things that will have the biggest impact for us, and choosing to, kind of work from the essentials first into the upper levels of the things that make sense to work on. And obviously along the way, there will be some pain point that will come up that will distract you from I'm working on this thing and you're going to have to go fix that. And that's why when we talk about our roadmap, which all of you have seen in the past at some point, I assume, that, we have this nice, clean ascension model where we discover stuff about our business, we learn how to execute, and then we optimize. And, that starts off with our foundation and goes into the MBA process, which is, our pre-construction process, our job mix choices, sales and marketing tactics, estimating, contracting, production, and efficiency, and then our marketing systems, feedback loops, and growth strategies, right? We're moving from some sort of chaos and uncertainty to what we all want as a business owner: reliability and freedom, and lots of profit. So that goes without saying. So the reality is this doesn't work. This is chutes and ladders. It's a spider web. We're going to bounce around a lot. There's always times where you're making adjustments. Our job as entrepreneurs is to solve problems. And so, don't be frustrated because, hey, I didn't get this thing done in this order. I didn't do this, or I haven't done enough, or the dog ate my homework. That's not the point. The point is every day we show up to solve problems, and collective as a community, we have an amazing opportunity to not only impact our business, but impact each other's businesses in how we do that. So this roadmap is one of the tools. We're going to give you a preview of something that we're in the works with, but we think will be very helpful for you. And then, like I mentioned, the other tools, the company organization chart. You guys have all seen this, right? Where we basically go step by step through the different tasks of an organization and look at the things that need to be done. And so If you don't have one of those up on the wall with people's names or colors assigned like Dan and James did over at ICB, we highly recommend we put that on one of the lists to do in your 6-week project filter. Is going to be, let's get a company org chart updated for you and make sure you understand where everybody's roles and responsibilities in the company are. And if you only got 5 people in the company, that's okay. There's a lot of names that can be duplicated. We just have to see where the holes are and how we're going to plug them. So the next thing we want to introduce to you guys is this concept of a more detailed roadmap. You can see this is a screenshot that we took of something that Jeff's been putting together and working through the formatting of how we're going to do this. But, you know, intro and basics, sales, estimating, financials, contracts, and change orders. There's a long list of these things that we will be introducing to you so that you can kind of gauge your process of, hey, how am I doing on all of the things, all of the opportunities I have to make improvements on my business. And so in 2024, we'll be giving you guys a new roadmap format that takes into account kind of the basic stages, you know, the understanding levels of foundation level skills, intermediate, and then advanced, because oftentimes you'll get to one level with a process or a procedure, and then you need to up level it as you scale. And then you get to a higher level and you're like, oh, we need to revamp that again because we do things differently now that we have a more robust team or different processes, or we're using Canvas and Matterport now, and we used to go out and measure by hand, right? So whatever it is, you're going to continue to make those improvements. So how's that sound so far? Thumbs up, yes in the chat.
Well, can everybody give me a great big smile right now? I gotta take a picture here. All right, 1, 2, 3, happy puppies.
Thank you.
Buzz. Photobomb us, Buzz.
That's perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
That's a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be doing coming up in the next year. The last thing I want you guys to be aware of is the 6-week project filter. Hopefully you've had a chance to print a couple of these up. I send it out early so that you would be able to do that. What I want you to do while you are listening to people's stories today is, hey, that's a problem we're trying to solve. Let's write that one down. What impact or what difference will it make in my company? And what does done look like for us? First round, right? Not perfect, not in everything dialed in, but what does done look like right now? If we could move the needle from here to here, that's done for now. We can come back to it later, but that would be it. And then what are the 6 big chunks of work that you have to do to accomplish those things? And typically, you know, it might only be 4, it might be 5, it might be 7, but we typically see it somewhere around 6 things. If you break down 6 chunks of work that you have to do, believe it or not, you can usually get them done in about 6 weeks. It's weird how that works. And then the 3 things that you need to get started. If you were just to take the first box of, hey, this is what I need to do, big chunk number 1, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 first, that gets you going. It moves the needle, it stops the procrastination cycle, and it helps you build momentum into solving that. So as you guys are listening today, or if you already know what you've got as far as project filters, go ahead, print one of these up, write the project name on it, and start filling out what you're going to do. This is a tool that we guarantee if you're using it, and we do our implementation calls on Tuesday with you, we could check in and see how those things are going. If you book one-on-ones with us, you could show us what your project filter looks like and where you're stuck. It's going to be a very useful tool for you. So that's it. Next up, we asked you to come prepared to share your number 1 thing, greatest impact in your business, or what you're most proud of in the last year. Accomplishments that you've made, wins that you've had, things that have transformed your business. You know, and this is so that everybody else on the call can get a sense of what they should be working on, inspiration of what is driving you and your business, and hopefully you pick up something from everybody else as well. So that's about it.
Let's try one more smile. We've added a couple of people.
Oh my goodness.
Happy puppies.
And Alex Slarv, good to see you. Brad Robinson,
Yeah.
awesome. Aaron Riddle, good to see you. And we got the Sandoval team in here as well. Good job, guys. Glad you can make it. Oh,
Brent. Brett. And here's Lucas.
Yes, cool. So we're going to ask you to share your one thing.
Jeff?
We gave you this 5 to 7 minute story outline. We're going to try and keep it kind of quick so that anybody that wants to share can share. And, I'm going to take this off the screen, but if you need help, we can prompt you with the questions. So who wants to go first? Just type me in the chat and you get to be first up, or we can voluntold somebody.
I think we'll voluntold.
Oh, really?
I was going to pick Jason Miller, but he's on the phone, so I had to give him crap about it.
Oh, he's there. Jason.
Okay, let's get Jason to do it. Jason, what's your one thing?
Oh, I think well, I'll break it down a couple. I think right now it's consistency of everything that we've implemented in the past is being consistently organized and scheduled to implement what we've implemented over the last couple of years. And that goes as far as the design agreements, the estimating, keeping on top of the change orders so they don't run away with us, and just always have that all in documentation and constantly going back to it. So we're getting into habits instead of just, oh, by the way, we should have done this or should have done that. Mm-hmm. So trying to make everything in the subconscious and in the habit format type of thing. And then my own personal quest has been kind of rough, but we're getting there. I didn't realize it was going to be such a big project, but I think you guys know that we have the signature processes for doing all the different designs, and then what a bathroom process should look like. And anyway, we're transforming those into something visual for the clients to see instead of trying to read all the step-by-steps. And we're using a company and we're putting that into a whiteboard video where they are kind of drawing out our processes in front of it as they're talking. And I've had 1,500 edits on the first one. And so I'm hoping that after this, that the other ones will just fall in line because I'll just follow the same format. But it's been a challenge, but I do believe test running it on some customers that we already had sold, but just kind of getting their feedback that they enjoyed it. It was informative, and it kind of sets us above any of the competition out there that's not really sharing the client like how their bathroom's going to go together, how their kitchen's going to go together. They can actually hear it and see it in these whiteboard animation videos.
Super good. Do you have one? Do you have one completed?
I have one almost completed. I'm not ashamed of. That's the one. But as soon as I do, you guys will get the copy of it. So
all right.
Awesome. We want to see that on an implementation call. That is absolutely awesome, Jason. Yeah. So you mentioned consistency. What results are you seeing now because you've implemented a more consistent process?
Well, obviously, we're eliminating a lot of mistakes that we made throughout the process or things that we forgot to include in the different processes. And that's from our superintendent having a detailed plan of when a job starts and finishes, and going back and looking at his 150 check line items that he's doing that every day. What check line am I accomplishing today? So on that side of things, in the office doing the estimating. Now we've really customized that spreadsheet for our company, and just took like 6 months to reword all the things that we do instead of the generic words. So really making it custom to what we're doing instead of just having a slab for concrete. No, it's 4-inch number 3 rebar, number grid through the concrete. So really detailed, so we're not missing anything in our estimation process that we would have been, we had to eat in cost wise on that way. And then change orders, and we get excited, we get moving. The customer goes, oh, by the way, can I do this change order? So really using that web-based management program that we have, and making sure the field person on their phones, I don't care what it is they're talking about, they at least get the description of the change order into the system, so it gets back to us in the office, and then we can price it out from there, and then
Cool.
deliver that to the customer with it. And they basically have like a little thumbs up or thumbs down if they approve the change order. And so that's saving a lot of legal issues, a lot of hassles, a lot of, oh, by the way, I didn't want this, pay for that. So just cleaning that stuff up is our biggest wins on that.
That is fantastic.
Fantastic, man.
Top
Yeah.
word of advice for anybody else in the program for 2024. What would your words of wisdom be?
I think it's what you guys, presented in the first part of this call is not only absorbed everything that you guys are sharing and all the other contractors are sharing with each other, but have an implementation plan and stay on top of it, because it can get easily buried with putting out fires and doing other things, but always having that consistency. Like I have it pinned in front of my computer. So like, all right, I solved today's problem because something didn't get delivered or something went sideways. But now I've got some free time. So what am I doing? Oh, there's a list. I didn't finish on part C, site 21 that is to finish this process to get it through. So that's really important to constantly have that in front of your face, so you don't get lost in the weeds or where you left off of what you were doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. That is great. Who wants
Thanks,
to be the
guys.
next
Thanks,
guinea
Jason.
pig? Who's the next
Super
contestant?
good.
I'll voluntold Steve Smith, buddy. Let's hear from you.
Okay, and then Brenna's up after that.
Okay.
All right, so this is no surprise to contractor convergence, but my biggest issue is getting what came out of my client's mouth is what they wanted to the artists in the field that are putting it together and building it. And I think I've struggled with that ever since I took my bags off and started hiring other people to be in the field, because I definitely create a relationship with a client where I understand not just what they're saying, but what they're dreaming. And it's really hard to pass that on. And so that's been a real struggle for me. So I was looking, and back in, I found a 2009 copy of my PSA that I never used. Knew the problem back then and was trying to fix it, but with the help of you guys and then a lot of your clients that are here now, putting together a good solid pre-con team that's involved with the client from the beginning, having good documentation, having good processes, having good workflows, so that information is not a burden to get for the client, but it's a joy. I'm going to say that's been not just for the year, but for 37 years. That's my biggest hurdle and my biggest accomplishment. And that in your list of things you ask, describe the symptoms of the problem. And I sat for a long time going, okay, what are the symptoms that aren't just freaking obvious? And it's really just ugly, bad days in the playground. And that's pretty much what I came up with.
How are things now? What results are you seeing because of the change?
Well, interestingly enough, I wanted my team to be in this meeting, and most of them decided not to be, with my okay. My response back to them, sometimes it's better to go ahead and build than it is to sit around and talk about it. So they're all busy. They've all got things to do, and they feel like they're making great progress on our jobs, and they're able to handle the clients just perfectly. and they're all on a roll. They didn't want to stop that this close to Christmas, because clients always like to see things happening and want to move in and all that. So, but I think probably the biggest thing that I see that's different is my elimination out of the project. And I don't like it, but it's a necessity.
That's awesome. Right on.
Well, you're getting to the point where you can get back in the process, but you're leading from the front for how you want the process to be.
Yeah. Top words of advice, encouragement, something for everybody to take into 2024 from you, Steve.
Well, that feels odd. You know, I mean, doing this a long time, and I don't typically give advice, because what the hell do I know? You know, I'm sitting here on a Thursday morning talking to you guys about my issues and how I'm trying to overcome them. So I think the biggest thing is to have a system, pay attention to it, and do whatever you have to do to enjoy going and working with your team. Doesn't matter what it is, but
right on.
Make that happen.
Right on. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Steve.
Brenna, real quick, let's make sure that we introduce ourselves and give like your team size, revenue size, and maybe your location, just so everybody has the context a little bit. So Steve, we'll catch you real quick about how big is your team, about how much revenue are you doing a year?
I've got a what have I got? 7 people in the office.
Yep.
I think I've got probably, I don't know, it varies. I'd say 10 out in the field.
Okay.
Revenue, you know, I've been so busy doing everything else. I think we're probably at around 8 million, moving up to 25.
Okay.
We're making some immediate moves for that. I'm in Sandpoint, which is local to you guys, and hopefully everybody will come here for the summertime boot camp.
Contractor summer camp. Thanks for the plug, Steve. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't get to do it last year, but I was still offering Joel's tacos to everybody.
Woohoo!
There you go.
You guys don't even understand how big of an offer that is.
I'm getting a new laser engraver, so I'll engrave all the tacos with my logo.
Perfect.
Cool.
Awesome. And then Jason Miller, would you mind just hopping back on so we can hear that context for you as well, real quick?
Yeah, we have 3 office people. Unlike Steve, things vary depending if we want to do subs or our own people, but we have our own people of 4 out in the field. But we're always intertwining that with subs when we want to. And then we're at about 2.5 million, heading to 5.
Sweet. Love it. Love it.
Thank you. Brenna, you're up.
Brenna.
Hello, everyone.
Brenna, tell us your name.
My name is Brenna.
Where are you?
What's that?
Where are you?
Oh, we're in like greater Sacramento area, California. So the most expensive place to live and run a business.
Folks, except for where Dan is, that's more expensive in California.
Where is Dan?
He's on the peninsula.
Oh,
San Francisco. Yeah.
all right.
Team size, approximate revenue.
So team size, we're actually fairly small right now, mostly because our subcontractors have worked some of our field guys out of a job.
Love it.
So Rusty, myself, and Jordan in the office, and 1 field guy right now. That's not really where we want to be, but that's where we are right now because that's what's working. So plans to grow that a little bit next year, but with the right people. So I thought a lot about this, and my answer is a lot more broad, I think, to some of these questions, but the accomplishment that I think I'm most proud of is our work on our pre-construction process, or our PSA process. We have redone this, tweaked it, changed it, added to it, take away from it, probably 400 times this year. And as I'm sitting here thinking about what I'm going to say, I'm thinking about the fact that this process and everything within it is literally our entire business. It's it is from A to Z what impacts our business the most. And I didn't even realize that until maybe this year, to be honest. So we have basically our work we have sort of written down step by step what a buyer goes through when we take them through our PSA process, like something tangible. What are we physically doing? And a lot of arguments between Rusty and Jordan and I, honestly, about like sticking to this and sticking to the order that this is in, because my guys like to get ahead of me sometimes and go, oh, we can do the MEP walk, like we can get that done, or we can submit, or we can do this. And then we always have problems because we're trying to rush through it. So
stick to the process.
Yeah, exactly. So a little bit of accountability for all of us, you know, regardless of whether or not we'd like to fill a hole in the construction schedule, that we don't create problems for ourselves in the future by, you know, going off course. So, I mean, the problems we're trying to solve with this process is our client expectations, profit loss, scheduling problems, arguments with clients over money, change orders, where their budget is, what they're getting, what I told them they're getting versus what they signed, and you know what they are getting. So I think those are all the problems and kind of the symptoms of the problems, is all the things that we have been through, mostly with clients. I feel like we're always trying to prepare ourselves to be able to tell them, I told you so, because you signed it, it's right here, we already talked about this.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let me write that down.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like CYA, right? I mean, that's really a lot of what this process is doing. And this year alone, it's really saved us a lot with that. So, you know, some small things and some big things. Because clients forget what they agree to or what they sign off on, or they don't pay attention, and that's not our fault. That's your fault.
That's awesome. So I know you guys did and several rounds of it, an extensive client journey map. It started on the back of a hockey box. We've shared that picture with people. You now have a nice printed out list of, you know, the stages, the step-by-steps. What results are you seeing because of implementing that very defined client journey and sticking to your PSA process? Other than, we already shared your 100x profitability year over year, so that was pretty impressive. But what else are you seeing from the results that you've implemented?
Yeah, so I think the ability when dealing with a difficult client to have the backup to support our arguments with them. I know that sounds maybe a little bit like, I don't know, bleak, but we have one client in particular this year that's been pretty difficult. He's really kind of an a-hole, just to be honest. Rusty actually told him not to sign the construction contract. And he still did. So we kind of tried to go fishing with that one, but fortunately, I mean, we've had some issues still, you know, but multiple occasions where he's complained about something, we've had backup to prove that we either discussed it, it was on your plans, it was in your written scope, it was here, and here. And now you're saying we never told you we were going to, you know, build it like this. So, I mean, it's nothing huge, right? We're talking about like his outlets on his backsplash being horizontal and lowered down towards the countertop, which is something everybody wants right now. But he claims we never told him. He doesn't like it now. And we're like, but look, it's here. Like, how did we not tell you?
Right.
But the fact is, that was the result of all of your work to be able to
Correct.
do that. You say it's no small thing, but in reality, it represents a year or to 18 months of work to get to the point for you to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah. And so I mean it's a huge CYA, right? And it's hard when you have to have, difficult conversations with clients or arguments or whatnot, but when you have, all of this documentation and this process to fall back on, it's really hard for them to not sound completely irrational with some of their, complaints. So not, I hate to be a Debbie Downer and bring up the bad clients, because there's some really great ones too. And just, having one, we have some clients right now we're about to finish, and I mean, I've received an email from them at least 2 or 3 times, even during construction, just saying, you guys are wonderful. This is great. Like, thank you for all of your help. That's the experience we're striving for with every interaction. We know we won't get that with everyone, but just trying to remember that those people are out there and they do appreciate, what we're doing, even though they're paying us handsomely for doing it for them.
That's great. So I hear sleep at night factor.
Yeah, absolutely. For
Yeah,
sure. Less
I
worrying.
hear.
Yeah.
Less worrying, having confidence in your systems, being able to back up what you've said with documentation, that all leads to a much better, enjoyable, more fun day-to-day life for you guys at K Squared.
Are
Yeah.
you working more or less based on what you've done?
We are working less for sure. Rusty and I took a week off for Thanksgiving this year for no good reason other than to just take the week off. We took a family vacation this year that wasn't sports related for our children. So yeah, I mean, and Jordan's a big part of that too, holding down the fort while we're gone too.
We're going to hear from him in a little bit, but we're stoked about that. What's been the impact to the bottom line for you compared to past years?
Massive. And that's sort of where I wanted to come full circle with it, that, the estimating itself too has, taken great improvements, but that's all part of our pre-construction process. It's us thoroughly estimating what our clients want to build and telling them that you are controlling this ship and where it's going. The cost is the cost is the cost, you guys.
Damn right. Thanks,
So,
Greta.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love that.
So just being and setting their expectations, we set their expectations on their budget so early on in the process, because we're like, look, we don't want you to spend all this money and get to the end and you're surprised. So let's talk a lot about that, and let's make that the first thing we do.
Great. Fantastic.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Hey, Jeff Pike, you volunteered. Are you ready to step up?
I thought Bob was going to go next.
What's that?
Right. I thought Bob said he was going to go next.
I had Jeff.
Go.
Yep, Jeff.
Go.
Yep.
Brad.
All
Go
right. My name is Jeff Pike. I work for Steve with DSS Construction in Sandpoint, Idaho. So we have a total of about 17 employees, like Steve said earlier, 7 in the office, 10 out in the field, doing about 8 million. Our goal is to double, triple that over the next 3 to 5 years. So the accomplishment. I replaced recently our project manager and gave more authority to our superintendents to get the projects done. The problems that we were trying to solve was their clients were unhappy with our performance. Superintendents were not being provided with enough information to effectively and efficiently get their jobs built. The projects were moving slowly, and we had some serious problems. Wrong products were being ordered, duplicate products were being ordered. It was poor vetting of subcontractors and poor performance on the subcontractors. Symptoms: unhappy clients.
Always.
Yeah. we were missing milestones, deadlines, and that, of course, is reduced bottom line. So profits were big leaks. So to fix the problem, replace the project manager. We gave more authority to our superintendents, which we've got 3 really, really good superintendents. I mean, these guys are go-getters. We kissed a lot of frogs to get to them, but they're crushing it out there in the field now. We just basically took the handcuffs off them and let them do what they're supposed to do, what they're trained to do, and they're crushing it. So the results that we're seeing, the relationship with clients and subcontractors are being restored. We're reestablishing trust, through met expectations. So we're curing the problem. Top word of advice: trust but verify. When you give somebody an assignment, when you ask them to do something, you've got to verify that it is done. All of these problems fall squarely on my shoulders because I had given direction to somebody, was trusting that they were executing what I asked them to do. Was not the case. I did not verify, so that's squarely on my shoulders. If you're making system changes and process changes to grow your business, you got to identify the things that are not changing. There's certain things that we want to maintain here at DSS throughout this growth process. If you don't take measures to protect those things, for us, it was the company identity, our culture, the company personality, and that I didn't protect those things, and they suffered. So now I have to rebuild. That.
That's great insight. That is really
excellent.
fantastic. That's a huge takeaway. Identify the things you want to stay the same is as important as the things that need to change.
Yeah. Huge growth you guys have seen, and you really did have a bad actor that said one thing on one hand and did another thing, and took a while for you guys to see what the results really were and then be able to deal with that. So I'm very excited for you for all of your work, Jeff and Steve, the whole DSS team.
The whole DSS team. Absolutely. Good job.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thank you. I believe Brad at Bradford.
Was it Jordan, I think, actually?
Was it Jordan? Okay. Yeah, let's get Jordan then.
Jordan, Brad, Buzz. Jordan, Brad, Dan, Buzz.
Perfect. Let me get Jordan up.
I was after Brad, but I'll go. I don't want to cut.
Oh, my bad.
You're already spotlighted. Make it.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
So my name is Jordan. I'm with K Squared with Rusty and Brenna in Sacramento. We have the 4 employees, and I think, Brenna, we broke 2 million this year, right?
Oh yeah.
So pretty exciting. So give the impact or accomplishment point up front. So I think our jobs being on schedule. I'm the project manager, so I work through the PSA process with Rusty and Brenna. I'm very hands-on with that, and then once the job gets rolling, I take it over. Keeping our jobs on schedule. Obviously, the problem with jobs not being on schedule is clients are upset. Inspections don't happen when they need to. Subcontractors get frustrated when you're rescheduling them all the time. And I think really those symptoms, the biggest symptoms is homeowners not getting their job completed when they were expecting it to. And I think what we implemented to fix that was our biggest move was going from in-house labor to subcontractor labor. Was our biggest thing that solved that issue. I think when I came on, had 3 field guys, and they were doing majority of all the work. And now our 1 field guy pretty much is a job cleaner. He cleans the jobs. That's practically all he does. He does here and there stuff and fills in the gray between subcontractors. But the subs are more motivated to get done when they're working off bids, and our field guys are working, you know, hourly. So they're more motivated to keep the schedule. We are implementing our full subcontractor agreement. We have a big new subcontractor agreement that we're starting to send out. That's also, I think, going to just even help with that even more. And Builder Trend. So our scheduling software, Builder Trend, is a big tool that we use. All of our subcontractors are plugged into it. They get notifications when I make any schedule modifications or anything, and it's a big help for sure, keeping everything on track. And it keeps the homeowner involved too, because the homeowner has an account, and they're able to see, you know, live time when I make changes. They get email notifications that just help keep everyone on the same page.
Awesome.
Let's see. I mean, so the results that we're seeing because of what we've implemented, jobs finishing on time, actually early. We've finalized our past couple jobs ahead of when we had final on the schedule, which is always exciting. The clients are excited. We've had our past couple clients actually have mentioned multiple times just in conversation how, you know, they've talked with friends who have gone through other, you know, other remodel projects or addition projects, and they're always surprised when they talk to our clients and the client says, oh yeah, they're on schedule, or oh yeah, our roof's already on, or yeah, we're already framed up, we have frame inspection today. It's always good. I always feel like giving myself a little pat on the back when, you know, we get when I get that input from the clients of, you know, how different it is when we spend 3 months and you know, we spend 3 to 6 months in our PSA path, going through that and making sure we have everything detailed out. And a lot of the times our jobs end up being shorter than our PSA because we put so much detail into the organization of the jobs. So
that's fantastic.
That is so cool.
What a key takeaway.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Any top advice or anything for other project managers that are on the call, or even owners? Because I know you're involved in every aspect of the business. So what do you got?
Subcontractor relationships. I think that's you know,
Nice.
a given. But you know, we treat our subcontractors out to lunch. I mean, just the normal stuff, you know, but it keeps them involved and it keeps them happy. And when you are in a pinch, and you do need something soon, most of our subs, you know, when we say jump, they say how high, because we pay them on time. Brenna does a great job of paying them on time. We don't move stuff around on them, and we keep an organized job site that they know when they come in to do their job, they can get in, get out, and not have to worry with, you know, any hassle. So,
and we buy a lot of beer to keep it that way.
Right on. All right, let me get Brad up on the screen, and thank you, Jordan, for sharing. That is fantastic. Really appreciate it. For those of you who haven't met Brad, he's one of our newer clients. You got Cody over there as well, and he usually has somebody sitting off.
Lacey's there. I saw him earlier.
Okay, perfect. So Brad usually has 3-4 members of his team on calls. They are excellent implementers. Brad, how long have you guys been in the program? 2 months?
Only 2 months. Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah. So tell us what's been going on. Tell us a little bit about your company, and then jump into it. What's your big impact or accomplishment up to this point?
Yeah, so I'm Brad Robinson with Bradford Custom Homes. This is Cody Shiver, our Vice President of New Construction. We've got some team members that are floating in and out today as needed. But we're internally, our internal staff is 11 now, and we have 8 self-performers that are out in the field, various carpenters, painters, things of that nature. We self-perform a good bit of our work, especially on the remodel side. Revenue this year, about 4.5 million. We're staffed and ready to handle the booked business that we have going into 2024. We're projecting about 10 million. So we're on a high growth trajectory right now. We're excited for that. You guys at Contractor Convergence have been amazing in helping us build confidence. I would say that our greatest accomplishment this year is we've been implementing a lot of new things. We've been in the Builder Trend ecosystem for better than 3 years now. We've been doing a lot of those processes end to end, from sales all the way to back end finance, even into the surveying process with Builder Trend for a long time. So those processes have been pretty rigid from our perspective since pretty much our inception. So those things have been really good. But where I would say our greatest accomplishment this year was the integration of a lot of these new practices that helped us build confidence in our pricing. We fully converted over from being a cost plus builder into a fixed price contract builder with the help of Jeff and Kyler and Rick and the whole team. And a lot of that was because of confidence in our estimating structure. We brought in and staffed an actual estimator in our company, who is basically carrying the torch of this new pricing model, this new spreadsheet. We're still learning how to adopt that into our Builder Trend practice, but for now we're using it in a pretty significant way that's helped us close out our pre-construction services agreements, which when we got on here, we just changed the name. It was a design agreement retainer, and now it's a pre-construction service agreement. But what we're finding is it's giving us more strength, calling it this, and then adding some additional services within. So we've increased our front end revenue and created an entirely new revenue stream in providing these services, so much so that we actually hired 2 new designers to support the design agreement process. So it's been a huge, that's been a huge thing for us, because I think in our first 2 months, I mean, and we already had a very robust marketing stream. We have a dedicated marketing professional on board. We call him our marketing manager, but he is our lead gen, for a lack of better words. He's doing that day in, day out, 365. We leverage a lot of different resources for that, but that's all happened in the last 365 days. So a lot has been happening. It's been a very transformational year for us. But with the help of Rick and Kyler and team, we've been able to put a rocket pack on our back, essentially, and move at a faster rate. I think in our first 2 months, we closed 7 PSAs. We're on average to close 2 per week now. So we're moving at a pretty good little pace. So it's been good. Been very good.
Cranking, man.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
When we had I think it was our 3rd meeting with Brad, and he was like, yeah, we signed 3 PSAs. It's like, we just gave you the paperwork yesterday. They hit the ground so fast. It's really awesome. Brad, I don't remember, because I was interviewing a bunch of people at the time, but weren't you looking at a couple of coaching programs when you joined?
We were looking at a couple different ones that we knew about. And I think it was just late night, saw Rick's face, and whatever he said in that moment just resonated. It kind of, the vibrations touched my bones. And I was like, you know what, let's just explore this and see what happens. I'm a big believer of paying for education. I think that it makes a lot of sense. And then when we got to meet you guys and see the process, it was big for us. So we're greatly appreciative of this, and this new relationship has been awesome for us so far.
Well, we are incredibly glad that you are part of the community and have been an inspiration for us, as well as hopefully clients who are meeting you, for setting the standard of just charging and recklessly adopting anything that we've said. The go fast and break things model is working. Sometimes you'll have to go back and clean up some messes, but not being afraid to try new things is really awesome, and I want to congratulate you guys for that.
In fact, I think you made a comment one time, like if something along the lines, and this was back to, you know, the results you're seeing right now. If you said something like, if you would have told me that we would have changed our whole sales process in 30 days, tell us about what that meant and what that was.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a clear process per se on our sales on our sales side. It was based on what kind of customer was approaching us with what kind of project, and it was very non-direct in how we would bring them into the funnel and through the funnel and then to close them out. So having the confidence to call it one thing, stick to that one thing, and work, you know, create basically a standard operating procedure of how a customer becomes a customer. That was the biggest impact. And it was just what we needed at the time. I think that's really what it was. And now it's working across every project, and we don't deviate from that. And it's been great because we have that consistency.
Fantastic. I love that.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. That is awesome.
Thanks, Fred.
I know that a couple of people are running up against time deadlines. Dan, would you mind if I bumped you one more and heard from Isaac before he had to go? Awesome. Great. Let's get Isaac up on the screen here. And Isaac, let's hear from you.
Hey guys.
Hey. Welcome.
So ACO's Construction is we're in Portland, Oregon. I've been in business for 11 years. We do about right now, $2.5 million a year between remodel and we're doing new construction and custom and focusing more on large scale projects with a high focus on sustainability, high performance homes. We are 11 people right now. So myself, we've got about 5 guys in the field and about 5 in the office between accounting, project management, production manager. Hoping to grow to 3 to 4 million in the next year or two. Just slow, steady, intentional growth is my goal and methodology. I'm not trying to blow things up really quickly. I just like to, plod along and make improvements as we go and make sure we're still delivering the type of product that we want. So this year, the biggest problem I was trying to solve was just a people and a roles problem. We were really struggling going into the pandemic. I lost my business partner left, lost project manager just through COVID burnout. And so 2022 especially was pretty rough. We had a bad year despite more inquiries than ever. We had a bit of a loss in 2022 due to poor implementation. And so in 2023, I was, really looking to get our team built out, and we were very fortunate to find 2 great people to add to our team. A project manager, 2 project managers. Basically, one is also acting as a superintendent on a very large project we're doing at the moment. And that's definitely our biggest impact of this year is getting the right people in the right roles. It was a huge relief, several months after they were on board. It was just like things just started going in the right direction. Gave me more time to work on processes and systems, which is another big part of the 2 things we're working on this year and that are and into next year. It's people and processes. It's having the right people and having the processes for them to follow and for our team to implement that give us predictable results. We're really trying to shorten our front end pre-construction process and make that is much more efficient and get people through that quicker. And we're seeing better results for, every time we implement a new process. We're doing new subcontractor scopes of work, that we're outlining, you know, for before every meeting that we have with the sub, and they have our specific scope of work for the job, plus general requirements for working with ACO's quality requirements that are specific to every trade for every task on the job. And they love it. They're just like, man, I don't have to think about it. I just know exactly what you guys want. And I'm just going to go home and basically retype your list and put pricing to it. And it's been really great. And it makes sure we don't forget things, or they don't forget things in their bid. So part of the process implementation, and those have been great. My top word of advice, I guess, would just be, you know, for me, it was like really know your company culture, know what you stand for, know what you're providing to your client, the experience you want them to have.
Yeah.
And when you're bringing people on, make sure they support that culture. If they don't, you know, you can try and coach them to get them there. If they can't get it, then just it's time to go. It's time to move on, because the culture of the company and the atmosphere we bring to our clients and the jobs and the intentionality of how we work, if there's somebody that's not bought in, like they can bring it down for everybody, and it's just toxic. So that's the big, you know, sort of realization through this process, really the last 2 to 3 years of trying to get the right people into some pretty advanced roles, is they got to fit the company culture. They got to buy in.
I love that, man.
Really good.
That is great, Isaac. And, you know, congratulations, because we've been with that process with you for quite a while. And I noticed a definite difference, you know, coming into the second half of this year in your just your personality, letting your shoulders down. The weight wasn't so heavy. The people that you hired did make a big difference. We saw it every time we interacted. So congratulations. It's been obvious on the outside as well. So good job.
It's been a huge help.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Huge.
Just so that we can keep things moving along, we've got, I'm going to throw Dan Fitzpatrick on next, and then Rusty will get you after that, and then Justin, and then Brett, if that works out for the order. Justin, does that give you enough time? Are you good? Cool. Okay. Dan, you're up. Let's get you on the screen for everybody. Welcome, Dan. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, Dan Fitzpatrick, Innovative Custom Builders. We're in the Bay Area, Peninsula specifically. We work from San Francisco to San Jose, not in either of those places, but in between only. We were $4 million when we met these guys. We're 24 million last year. There's me and a partner. We got 6 in the office, and we got 35 in the field. 3 different divisions, framing division, 4 different divisions, framing division, finish, carpentry, painting, and labors. Exactly opposite of Brad. So I'm going to start with the advice first. We were super slow in implementation, like years and years and years of it. So do it Brad's way. That's my advice. No good reason to do it my way. I'm 3rd generation, hard-headed, thought we knew how to do it. So I was doing it more a la carte, and I'd say we're 80% implemented now. The big 6, as we call it, because we still aren't all the way there, would definitely be the game changer.
You're talking about the big 8, but jokingly, you're
Right.
at the big 6 right now.
Yet, so it's
Which
big
is
6.
good. Sometimes it was only 5. So
I remember a big 3 with Dan and James. Come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was profitability. I mean, that was the problem we were solving for you guys, is like you mentioned, $4 million, but you were like, why am I banging my head against the wall and walking away with nothing at the end of the year?
Yeah. When we were at $4 million,
how's that different now?
We were only making paychecks. We were barely clearing our hours. You know, we weren't really making money even at that kind of gross. we're not trying to grow anymore. We're definitely happy enough. We actually will intentionally stay under the $25 million cap because a bunch of stuff I don't want to deal with happens if I break that. So now we're just working on increasing our margin more than growth, which is another fun challenge. We use Buildertrend too, like Brad. I think that the pairing between the knowledge we got here in this coaching and pairing it with Buildertrend is really when the real success happened, because Buildertrend gave us the format to implement and to hold it true. You know, we've really just kind of taken the knowledge from our brains and put it into the system so that the guys can go, you know, when this, then that, and they can see how and in what order we always wanted to do it without us having to say it all the time.
Awesome.
We still need project managers. It's really hard in our area. I think out of all the things I might do good in my life, I don't hire good project managers. So James and I still do work way too much, and we know that it's because we're still project managing. I'm doing better at focusing on the future, and James, but is still pretty locked down in project management. So that's what we're going to be working on going forward.
Awesome. Right on. Top words of advice.
Like I said,
he gave it.
We eventually implemented almost everything, right? So I don't know what our hesitation was, but our word of advice is do it, jump in. It doesn't get easier the longer you go. I mean, I thought about doing a PSA for like 3 years. And then once I did it, I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? What? Anyway, kick myself. But yeah, now we sell them. I forget selling them. Like, people call and ask us for them. They hear that we have this service, and could we please help them? You know, I mean, it's
So on our company dartboard, Dan, we have a quote from you that says, "I'll never be able to sell a PSA."
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's good work though. Good work.
This is awesome. Thank you for jumping on and sharing. It's really
Thanks,
great
Dan.
to see you. Good for the rest of the group to meet.
We'll
Who
see
is
you tomorrow, Dan.
arguably our longest standing client between we actually came down to the same day, because Brian and McKenna Strobel, also on the call, were clients number 1 and 2 on the same day. So we just love having you guys and sticking with it for as long as you have. Thanks, Dan. Really appreciate it. All right. So what did I say? Rusty, you're up. Where do we?
Or Justin, actually, then Rusty.
Yeah, Justin.
I was going to do Rusty because he has to go.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think Rusty's got to go early.
Yeah.
You good still, Justin? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, thanks.
Rusty, you're up.
Cool. Yeah, that was a good one to follow. Because we said a lot of the same things, right? Like, we'll never sell a PSA, and now like can't even imagine not having a PSA. So anyway, starting from the beginning or from the top, I'm Rusty Kraus with K Squared. We're in the Sacramento area, so you've already heard from a couple of the people in our office. We have been in business for about 18 years now. 2006 we started, and our revenue last year was actually our best yet at about well, we'll close this year, I take that back, still December, at about probably 2.1, 2.2, somewhere in there, 2.2 million. Our team size, 4. So I'll get to that here in some of this. So there are so many things, honestly, that we did this year that it was actually truly hard to pick one. So I just tried to pick something a little bit broad that I felt like was kind of the heaviest hitter for us this year. So the impact or accomplishment point was to hire good help. And obviously that was in Jordan. We feel like we hired a bit of a unicorn. So hopefully is he still on the call? Hopefully he doesn't get a big head. But he's actually already got one. So it's not really, it is what it is. So when we hired Jordan, I brought him into the office and basically said, like, here's kind of what we're looking for. Here's what we're trying to do. Here's what I'm having trouble doing. And I basically want you to work all of my field staff out of a job. And sometimes that's hard to do, both like in your heart and, for other reasons. You develop relationships with people over the years and you feel obligated to keep them busy. And that was me. But I wasn't always making the best choices for the business. And, realized, very early on that those were our field crew was some of our single biggest profit leaks. And so, rearranging them and liberating them was something that was a big eye opener. So just again, that is why our team size is now 4, and we're pretty relaxed in here right now. And there's a few projects up on the board, and we've got good revenue and team size 4. So anyway, so hire good help. Good help is going to pay for themselves. We worried a lot when we hired Jordan, how would we afford it? How would we do this? And, we kept a chunk of money in the bank to make sure that we could, just kind of get through it. And the reality is, I don't think we actually ever touched that cash. So, the reality is that, going through the motions of hiring somebody appropriately, which I'll get to that too, was, it should pay for itself. And I think Jordan does a good job of paying for himself and then some. So so that was the problem we were trying to solve, was just, we were wearing too many hats. It was very difficult, even though we knew we had, process implementation issues, that things that we wanted to do. We just had a hard time doing them because we were wearing too many hats. And so for me, I'm super ADD, so it's like I'm just constantly bouncing around and just putting out the biggest fire, and that's never really a great way to run a business. And so sometimes it's good for me to allow Jordan to put out some fires and let me kind of take a deep breath and see some of the bigger picture, and start to just continue to plug holes. So
Rusty, what results are you seeing now that you feel like you've implemented, Jordan and processes and pared down your team? What's the biggest results you're seeing?
Similar to some of the others, I think the number one biggest one is just our net profit. So it's just, I think we basically 10x'd our profit from last year. So I think that's pretty tough for most businesses to say. But when you do 1.6 million or so, 1.6, 1.8 million, and you have $3,000 profit, at the end of the year, you probably have to look in the mirror and say, what the hell am I doing? Right? Because if you're going to do that every single year, you should probably really think about what it is that you're doing. And granted, I know I've been here for 18 years, and I didn't look in the mirror soon enough, right? So I didn't want to sell PSAs. I didn't want to do a lot of this shit either, but it definitely does work. And it took some twisting of the arms to make it happen. So, yeah, so definitely number one, biggest thing was by far just profitability was just huge, because again, just once I was able to step back a little bit, I was able to tell Jordan, just like, we got to do this right now. That's number one profit leak. And I think my objective was it was twofold, right? I of course we wanted to have more profit, but my fear was that if I didn't start having Jordan work on those things quickly, that I would be eating into that fund that I was kind of setting aside for him. So I wanted to hit the biggest profit leaks first, knowing that would be the best use of his time, and would have inevitably help him pay for himself. So he did a great job at that. And so I think, collectively as a group, we did a good job of that too. He has actually worked, our, the fourth person on our team has barely a job. So, I mean, we could survive very easily with 3 right now, which I know a lot of you probably think that's crazy, but a lot of that is just because of the systems that we put into place. We just don't need that many people. So, yeah, take that for what it will. I know a lot of employees are probably in this conversation right now going, "Oh God, don't talk to him." But we're trying to grow, but we want to grow with the right people, right? And we've proven that it's possible to do with a very light crew and not feel totally stressed out. And it's effectively just, we pushed everything back on subs. And if there's something that our guy has to do in the field, we analyze it immediately. Why is he doing that? Why did he have to go to Home Depot? What did he buy? And how do we get that in the hands of a subcontractor? There is no reason that he should have to go to Home Depot. None, zero. We should be able to hire somebody. Oh, he's got to get floor paper to protect the floor. No, the flooring contractor can do that. The demo contractor can do that. Somebody else can do that. So anyway, that's really been like our big heavy hitters.
Awesome.
Describe the symptoms of the problem. I think the symptoms were just that it was just a vicious cycle of creating new processes and just not having the ability or the time to implement. So that was, I think, the tough part. That was kind of the eye opener in Brenna and I seeing, that we had to get somebody else in at a high enough level that would help us with the implementation parts of these problems. And so that's really what Jordan did a lot of. So
top word of advice.
What's that?
Top word of advice.
Top word of advice would be stop trying to do everything yourself.
Nice.
And stop trying to have 47 employees doing it too. If you're not a good hirer, let somebody do it for you, and the rest will fall into place. And start with the big 8.
Start with the big 8. I love it.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Rusty. It was great to hear from you and the other guys on your team.
Yes,
gal and guys. Let's see. I need to go back to my list unless somebody remembers where we're at.
Brett.
Justin, you're up next.
Oh.
Let's get you going.
Yeah, sorry.
I got
How you guys doing today?
Wait,
guys?
Brett,
Hey
did
guys,
you?
I got about 10 minutes, so I don't mean to be rude, but
Brett, let's hear from
if
Brett
you
really
want- or
quick, and then we
you
got
can go.
Justin.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. We'll go quick here. Yeah, so we're in North Bay, California. We're in wine country. We have about 3 office part-time and 8 in the field. We're doing a lot of work. We're doing concrete and framing. A lot of those guys were allocated towards that. So last year we did about 2 million. This year coming up, we have 3 million in PSA and about $1.5 million under contract. So we've had a big improvement happening. The biggest thing for us is the PSA. I think for a lot of people, a pre-construction team, a process. So we just jumped on in March, and so we're new to. We're definitely new to a lot of this. We've done a lot of implementation across the board from Builder Trend, a new website, new hires. So a lot has been happening on our end. But again, the PSA is the game changer. And so we're very grateful for that, for the guidance and the community. So I think that's the main thing for us.
Top word of advice.
Be grateful for the work. I think that and, constant improvement. It's just, every day you have to put that effort out there and improve and implement. But I think just being grateful for the opportunity to work. That's probably the biggest thing for me.
That's awesome. Great reflection point there.
Thank you, Brett.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you for sharing, Brett. Fantastic. All right, let's get Justin up here. Justin, thank you for being flexible and bouncing around. I appreciate it. Let's hear from Justin, who has been with Buildex. Were you hire number 1 at Buildex?
Hire number 2.
Hire number 2. Fantastic.
Yeah. So
part of Buzz's team.
Yeah, so my name's Justin Johnson. I'm a director of operations here at BuildX. We're located on South Shore, Massachusetts. We're just, south of Boston. Biggest thing that, and my perspective that we've been working on this year is our lead generation and partnership outreach. We are essentially a startup. We started about 6 months ago, so we're just trying to get, the ball rolling in our way. We're about 2.5, 3 million in overall revenue this year. Hopefully our projection is about 8 to 10 next year. So we've got a lot of implementation and stuff kind of in place to, catapult us into that direction. Kind of hitting on our lead generation, worked a lot with Doug to kind of create our architect designer outreach language and packets for our client leave behinds, and really kind of try to polish up our kind of overall pitch of what we're trying to do here. Finding that it's my problem is I overthink things a lot and try to make things a lot more complicated than they need to be. So it's always nice to kind of see the some outside perspective on how to simplify kind of our approach to a lot of stuff. So that was very helpful from you guys. But to kind of give you a cap up, what are we doing? So my job essentially, besides trying to, manage a lot of the operations that are happening here, was to really start cultivating our partnerships with our architects and designers in the area, to help kind of generate some lead sources for us in this way. So in the past about 3 months almost, we've done some outreach, about 125 architects, designers that we've outreached to, and we've had either phone conversations or in-person meetings from about 17 of those individuals at this point. And then from those 17, we have 3 that are really going to be kind of our key partners that we're going to be moving forward with, 2 of which have already started sending over us some potential jobs to go look at and start measuring. Throughout our conversations, we've found that one of the biggest pain points that we're finding with a lot of the architects and designers are the as-built conditions. And with some of the technologies and softwares that we're incorporating within the business, we're able to not only capture the as-built conditions, but able to provide a unbeatable value to these designers and architects that they can't find the time to do it themselves and be as accurate as we are with the product that we're producing for them. So at this point, we're actually going to be meeting with a new designer in about 25, 30 minutes. So that's actually where Buzz just headed off to. But we've started kind of doing some of this outreach. Right now, I'm trying to market to try to give a little bit more of a personal touch. I can actually show you guys a couple things, but so we've done some wine bottles, and we've done like custom logos and labeling for some of our clients as we're moving forward. I'll quickly share my screen real quick so you guys can kind of see. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is one of the labels. We got a few different other clients that we've been working with. We've got a wine that we've selected, doing custom labels for these guys, and we're doing, Christmas parties. I think Buzz just sent over an invitation on the chat as well. But
yes,
inviting, these architects, designers, inviting our subs. We're just trying to build a team. It seems to be kind of a really good outreach for us, and there's some other options that we had, but so we've been trying to cultivate a good relationship as we're moving forward and really trying to bring in some value from the architects and designers and kind of showing them, the value that BuildX can, bring to their team as well as their clients. So it's really surprising with how a simple gesture can go a long way. And a lot of these architects and designers are really biting on kind of the pitch that we're giving them. I shouldn't say pitch, but the value that we are giving to them. So we're finding a lot of success, and it's really helping to kind of push our business in the direction that we're really looking for. So I think one of the words of advice I would give to everybody as your business for next year is just be genuine. People can tell when you're trying to sell them. It's a big thing. And no one, truly wants to be sold. They want to feel like, they're having a conversation or they're part of, the situation that is at hand. So That's one of the biggest key takeaways that I'm finding is just be upfront, be genuine, and just communicate.
Very good, Justin. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
I love that, man.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Justin. We're gonna
Focusing on
go.
that client experience.
Yes, exactly. For sure. We're gonna go rapid fire and try and get a few more in before I don't want to go too long over our allotted time. Alex, if you're up, and then Aaron and Bob are on cue, all volunteered to speak. So Alex, what do you got for us?
Good morning, everybody. First, I really appreciate hearing from a bunch of your guys's, team members. I actually already got a lot out of everything that was shared thus far. I took some notes and I kind of changed my mind. So about us, we are kind of, I would say, artisan custom home builder. We own our own cabinet shop. So that's a lot of the reason why we get a lot of our clients to work with us in the first place. I'd say we're not super focused on sustainability. It's not something we want to ignore entirely, but finish quality and colors and feel and vibes are something that we're selling. We're based out of Napa. There's 4 in the office. There's 16 in the field. When we started in 2020 with you guys, we're at 1.3. This year we're going to net out, not net out, gross out 5.1. And then next year we're looking at somewhere around 6.5 plus at least. So kind of some of the same vibes as far as slow and steady. Like we're not trying to get to 25, but if that happens, great. But the goal is to kind of listen to you guys and try to get more implementation. I like hearing from those guys talking about moving fast and breaking things. I could definitely take more of that, and listen to more of that and implement more of that. I would say my number one improvement was hiring the right people and finding them yesterday. And that has made the biggest smile or relief in my heart. I kissed a lot of frogs. I got a little gun shy, trying to put a higher level person in the office because, I had an alcoholic. I had some people that I just kind of like made me lose a little bit of faith, but I've since found some great people in the office to kind of take over a lot of the operations. Hiring yesterday, and then I would say a close number 2. I know it's supposed to be 1, but a close number 2 is going to be Builder Trend implementation. And I'd say we had all the tools that Builder Trend has, but the great thing about this is the collaboration that it kind of focuses or forces you to do, and communication that it forces you to have, and the client portal. For some clients, they really love it, and I love that they love it. So hiring yesterday, Builder Trend, and then words of advice. I'd say that probably making sure that you answer all of the why to everyone that you possibly can, and making sure that they all know the why. And then it's your job to figure out how if they get stuck, because why is going to help them figure out most of their problems themselves. And if they get stuck, you can assist and jump in with the how, or setting up procedures or standards or what have you. But I feel like sharing that with as many people as possible has been really helpful.
Awesome. I love that. That
is so cool.
Fantastic advice.
By the way, I thought I was number 1. I didn't know there was another number 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, you're close. You're in the top 5, but you didn't make number 1. Sorry, buddy.
I hate to break you down easy.
And really cool actually to have so many legacy clients, the guys that have been with us like you, Alex, and Tom Bunn, Adam and Claire Barnum, you know, really fun to
Steve
see.
Smith.
Steve Smith,
Yeah.
yeah. Lot of the old familiar faces on this call. So really great to have a mix of everybody involved. And thank you so much for sharing, Alex. That was great. I think we got Aaron Riddle up on the scene, who is one of our newer clients. Aaron, I lost him. Hold on.
I'm here.
Okay, there we are.
Right? Yeah.
Let me
Right.
spotlight for everyone. Aaron's out in Pennsylvania. Tell us a little bit about your company. And you've been with us for a few months now. I think we're like 4 or 5 months in, right?
Yeah, about 4 months or so. So out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, I have 5 inside staff people and 4 out in the field people. So a total of 9 and just a few part-time employees. Do about 4 million a year. Once I came across the ad from seeing Rick for this, it was like music to my ears to you know, get involved and be part of, you know, just a group to be able to understand. You know, you don't know what you don't know until you hear it. So that's been awesome. I think the number one thing that I implemented right away was the PSA. So we're a design build company doing high-end remodeling. And basically I would do all of the designs and pricings for nothing. And we would spin our wheels a lot and do multiple designs and multiple pricing for customers. It worked initially, but as the market got harder, I would say that we probably were closing 1 out of 4 people. So like 75% of the work I'm doing for free. So we switched over to the PSA in October. Since then, it's actually gone a lot better than I expected it to. I think the close ratio is about 50%. And we have 14 PSA signed since October. So we're real excited about that. And it's even allowed me to take on jobs that I wouldn't have normally taken on. Because now that I'm getting paid for design work, I'll take on design only work that I haven't done before. So like one job that we're doing now, it was a design only, started as a design only for someone that already had their builder, because the builder was came with the lot, but they were looking for high-end design services. So we working with them, and now it's turned into my largest cabinetry install job I'm doing at like 400K. So we're super excited about that. I would say the thing that I've learned, and advice would be, don't be afraid to get paid for what you do. Don't do it for free.
Yay!
Yes.
Music to my ears. Yes, absolutely.
That is so cool. I love it.
Yeah. And I'm trying to implement as much as I can without trying to get overwhelmed by it. Like we're definitely focusing on the big 8, you know, updating marketing and meet the builder videos, you know, and definitely gleaned a lot of information from a lot of you already. I know I'm copying Bun and Sons stuff, so that's been fun. So yeah, just glad to be part of the community.
Amazing.
Awesome.
We're so glad to have you. Thank you for sharing, Aaron. It's really great to see you. Let's get Bob D. Thanks for hanging out for so long, Bob, and everybody else too. This has been super insightful, and I'm grateful that you've all taken the time to do it. Bob, what do you got for us?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen you guys in a long time, so it's great to see everybody and see some people doing well.
Yeah,
you too, Bob.
Absolutely.
I'm a dentist office, so the whole side of my face is just numb. So I look at dental policy. So we'll struggle through this. My name's Bob D. Our company is HPD Homes. I've been a home builder for 29 years. We've got 10 people on the team, and I guess was it 3 of us are dedicated in the office. The other guys are out in the field making things happen, filling in. Most of my guys in the field are in there filling in between the subcontractors and the subcontractor shortfalls.
Yeah.
I wish we didn't have to do that, but we just do with the talent pool that we have or don't have here in, I'm from Southern Illinois, here in Muscoda, Illinois. We just have a very shallow talent pool. when it comes to subcontractors. If you really want to do a higher end build like we do, it's tough. You have to polish what everybody else did because they leave it almost right. The biggest thing I took away from this entire project, well, my company changed completely once I started it. I was working myself to death, just doing the bids and doing the bids and doing the bids and trying to do everything without being able to let go of responsibilities and assign them to other people. It was just like a control freak. I created my own prison that I was living in. But with the help of the program, we've developed systems and systems within systems within systems that allowed me to let go because all I needed was check boxes and I could feel that everything was done. So I've gained a lot of time by not sitting around worrying or wandering laying at night, laying in bed, looking at the ceiling, thinking, what did I forget? What got missed? So I'm comfortable that things just don't get missed. Every Friday I get a checklist from everybody and I know that it's been done and that's been great. Our client experience, it went way up to where I'm getting letters that I can use on our website saying, what a great experience it was. Thank you so much. I got birthday gifts for my birthday this year from people, just a 12-pack of Guinness. But the idea was fantastic. And one of the unique things is because I live in our main subdivision. My home is like 4 doors down from my office that I'm sitting in now. So all these people that I'm building homes for, they're my neighbors too. It's really important to make sure that they're happy. You're going to see them. So I spend way less time bidding projects because of the PSA process cut all the tire kickers out of the equation. So we're not wasting that time, which allows me to get home by 7:00 p.m. every night. It's pretty good for me. It was 8 and 9 and 10. So it's down to 7. Our jobs are on schedule, which is really pretty good. And so last year we did 8, just over 23. By the end of this year, we'll close a little over 8 million. And we went from, I guess our gross margin went from 7 to 20%. And we know we had a lot of slippage in the first year with all the bumps of changing everything. We had real heavy slippage, but still made more money than we'd ever made before.
Fantastic, Bob.
This year, right now, we have 4.3 million under construction. That'll close in 24, and I've got 2 million in the signed PSAs. So it works. These are what I got out of all of this. But the top word of advice, as we're trying to wrap it up, is and don't be afraid of that PSA. I was terrified to tell somebody that to begin with, and then it went to I'll do it for 1,000, and now it's 3,500. And by being confident in what you're doing and knowing that what you have is worth something, people they just react differently, and the clients you want say yes. The ones that aren't going to willing to pay you for your time, you don't want them anyway. You're going to fight with them all the way through the entire project. So it's been great.
Yeah, that's awesome, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. That is fantastic. I really appreciate you sharing. It's great to see you get caught up. And then I'm going to throw Claire and Adam on because they just had a PSA fall apart, but you guys felt good about it, right? So let's hear that story. Well, yeah, I think you dodged a bullet. And to Bob's point, how much did you get paid on that PSA for a client that walked away?
About $20,000.
$20,000 worth of work to get this project real close to the finish line, and then the client took a right-hand turn.
Yep,
that happens sometimes.
By
But
the
how
way,
do you feel
how's
about
that
it?
for shattering? What do they call that?
The glass ceiling,
limiting beliefs about what you can charge for pre-construction services.
Oh yeah, I never. A year ago I would have said 20,000. Are you kidding? And they were gladly paying that. Actually, ultimately they went with someone who's giving them rock bottom pricing. So
they went with flippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they'll get that result. So that's kind of, whatever happens with projects. But the fact that you guys stuck to your system is really what I wanted to hear about, because we know that's had a huge impact on your business. And so sharing, that impact or accomplishment that you've had seemed appropriate, especially following up after Bob, because the power of that PSA that it's been for you guys in your business.
Oh, yeah. And then the funny thing is, almost the moment that they, moved on to someone else, we got, I think 3 or 4 of the architects, interior designers that we had reached out to came to us with more projects. So, it was bizarre, So so what the outreach has done is we now have this pipeline of opportunities and DAs that is just flooding through that $2 million project that, that we lost. So yes, it would have been nice to start that in January, but frankly, their designer was just a nightmare to deal with. And so they spent $20,000 for us to figure out their designer was not going to be someone we wanted to work with. So.
So one of the things
There
that
you
you're
go.
most proud of then, if I'm hearing you right, is your architect outreach, your partnership outreach, very similar to what Justin said, that is now feeding you large projects on a regular basis and giving you pre-construction opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've had a high return on our investment for reaching out to industry professionals.
Yeah, I have a lunch and learn at 12 o'clock today, actually. So
Fantastic.
Right. And it's not a presentation, it's not a fancy presentation. I show up. It's chatting with them, understanding who they are. They ask me, who I am in my pre-construction, way of doing things, and it's a very powerful way of doing it. Interaction is, I find, better than just a presentation.
It takes a bit to get through sometimes, but persistence pays off.
I want to suggest that you guys have also hired the right people.
Oh,
recently.
God.
Can you share on that?
Yeah, we just hired an executive assistant, and
Well, that in July.
And when she first, she came up for a week to sort of, shadow me, and she said, "So walk me through your morning." I said, "Okay." I get up in the morning, I put my hands in my head and go, "What the fuck do I do today?" And she said, "Oh my God, this is crazy." And so now we meet every morning about 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning. We have State of the Union, address of this is what we're doing. I know what I'm doing. It's, I just look at my calendar and I follow my calendar. So it's so much better.
We also
what Michelle's done is implemented a system to track all the details. And I know for you, Adam, that has been massive to have somebody that filters all the information coming in, organizes it, and make sure that it lands on the right people's desk at the right time. I've said it before, I'll say it now. If you don't have an assistant, you are one, and you're way overpaid and way underqualified for the job.
I agree.
I don't even answer my phone anymore.
I mean, as long as you have the right assistant, it's all about getting the right person for whatever job they're doing. But oh yeah, 100%. We needed her 2 years ago.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
What are the biggest results you're seeing because of the changes you've implemented? What do you think your biggest takeaway is for the year?
Well, with having an assistant, we can get back to people right away. Fewer things are falling through the cracks. We now have a system of tracking the opportunities, tracking the DAs, seeing where we are with the DAs more thoroughly. And I was selling DAs and they were just falling through the cracks because I just couldn't keep up. Now we can keep up. And
Awesome.
do we lose a couple
Awesome.
of days here and there? Yes, but they're more through attrition because they're not a good fit, not because I forgot to get back to them. So
Right.
Great point.
yeah,
That's great. Thank you for
Fantastic.
sharing. Really great to see you, Claire and Adam. I love it. Let's see. We've got a few other people we haven't heard from. We are over time, but Tom Bunn, if you would like to share, I was thinking Cody, Ryan,
Angel
anybody else
was
that wants to
interested.
go. We'll hang out for as long as you guys have time. So you know.
Yeah, let us know if you have to go in the chat.
okay.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Who's in the chat? Who wants to go?
Thanks, Alex. See you, man.
Great, Alex. Thank
Man.
you.
And anybody that didn't get a chance to, what I'd love, because I know that Cameron wanted to be here from Bigfoot really badly. His whole family is sick.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to put the replay out there to you guys, but anybody that wanted to share, anybody that's inspired from this, we can also have you guys just on the cell phone, just record. You've heard how the presentation goes. Give us a recording of a few minutes and we'll add that to it. If it's something you don't want to be live on the group with, or you're uncomfortable, that's fine. But let's continue this documentation process. This has been so amazing to hear all of your guys' journey over the year, the things that you've done and accomplished. It's just huge kudos. So we'll stay as long as you guys want to keep going over stuff. We're going to be here, but we didn't want to necessarily keep it too long over the scheduled time. But if you're available, here's your chance to still brag a little bit and to reflect on what you've accomplished.
What's that?
Does anybody have a story they want to tell before we wrap it up? Because we have been tracking these accomplishments, and I want to do a quick summary too.
Tom, Zach, Ryan, Charles, Angel, any of you guys want to be able to share?
Let's hear from Tom. How you doing?
Doing well. Sorry, I was late to the call. I was actually meeting with a couple of designers at a project that we're building right now. They wanted to come out and see one of our projects and maybe doing some work with them in the next couple of months. Yeah. So I have Bunn & Sons Home Renovations, about a $2 million a year design buildish firm in the Denver area, remodels and additions, no new builds. I would say I was kind of looking when you guys sent that email yesterday. I was looking at it's hard for me to describe what the whole program, I don't know, since we started working with you guys, what it's changed completely. But I guess in a short version of that would be we took what was a job for me and my wife Brooke and turned it into a real business. That's what we've been doing over the past 4.5 years. We started in 2016 as a handyman service. So we've come a long way. One of the big things this year for us, it's again, I mean, as in previous years, is team building. And team building and leadership is extremely important. If you don't want to be doing all these things that I'm just listening to everybody talking about, Adam just went, Alex, the guys that I've been on the call here, and all the stuff that you're either not doing or shouldn't be doing or don't want to be doing, somebody has to do it. So getting the right people around you, identifying the positions, the roles, all that kind of stuff, super important. And it's been great for us. We've grown our team. We've shrunk our team a little bit recently. We're down. We're 4 people now, if you count me. A little bit like K squared. I think we're running a little bit more like K squared these days, getting away from self-performed and subcontracting everything possible. One of the things that we did recently, I'm almost embarrassed to say that it's taken this long, but within the past 2 months, we sat down as a team and really took a close look at our client onboarding process and how that works, client activation, as it's been mentioned around here. And we just had a new PDA signed 2 weeks ago and got the chance to put this air quotations new process of client onboarding into effect, and yeah, lo and behold, what a difference. The client understands what's expected of them, how the systems work, how to communicate and co-construct, what the next step is, material selection, site measuring, whatever, all those mechanical things in the beginning of client onboarding got identified and laid out for them a lot better. And that's a big one for us recently. There's probably a dozen others that were this year that I could rattle off, but that one's fresh on my mind. Yeah, and a takeaway or something. How'd you guys put it?
Word of advice.
The word of advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take yourself too seriously. I feel like honestly, I've been falling in that trap lately, and don't take yourself too seriously, and don't forget the wins. I know in parts of the country, and our market included right now, I don't know, it's I'm looking ahead, kind of going, oh geez, what's the future going to bring here? And it's easy to let that, sort of short term or near term stuff in the front overshadow a lot of big success, even not that far in the rearview mirror. And so don't lose sight of that, and don't let your team lose sight of that either. That's, there's good things are happening, and keep plugging away. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. So keep up the good work, keep hammering.
I love that, Tom. Those are some really strong insights, words of wisdom. And man, I love hearing about the client activation upgrades that you guys have made. Can't wait to hear more about that as well. That's gonna pay off in dividends. Again, hard work at first, but it'll pay off for every single client that you've got coming your way.
Yeah. Hey, one last thing before I shut up. I was so is that fella from Lancaster still on here?
Is that Aaron?
Aaron?
No, I think he had to go.
Did he leave? Okay.
But
I grew
we'll
up
send out the replay, so go for it.
Well, no, I grew up in South Central Pennsylvania, so I grew up across the river over in the Manchester and York area. He'll know exactly where that's at. And
that's awesome.
I don't think I've ever talked to him, but he's like, oh yeah, we're using some Bun and Sun stuff. I'm like, oh geez, what's out there? You guys are yes, please do. If you find it useful, I'm glad that we could. That's actually encouraging to me. That's a little bit of a pick me up in times when I'm like, gosh, are we doing this right?
Yeah, no, he's following your Instagram post. He said he really likes them. We've talked about it before, so yeah.
Oh, really? Okay,
Aaron's
yeah.
a super rad guy. We should put you guys together. His family is going, like family and extended family for the last several months has been going through medical issues, like big, major, like transplant level kind of medical issues and stuff. So we want to make sure that we're supporting them, but do understand that when he says that things are found useful, let that be the encouragement he intended. I know that that's what he meant. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, I was happy to hear that.
Really great. Thank you for sharing, Tom. Anybody else feeling
Ryan
moved?
and Zach, you guys have accomplished stuff.
Yeah.
You guys haven't been with us necessarily for a ton of time, but if there's anything that you want to share, Angel, same.
Okay.
Go for it, Zach.
Angel was up first.
Okay. Yes, I wanted to share, being a part of the contractor convergence team and the contractor convergence community has made a big impact in us moving forward. So Sandoval Contracting, we've been in business for over 15 years. I think we're going on year 16 in February. And so the first 5 years, within the first 3 years, I hit $1 million. I'm kind of by myself, shooting from the hip, waking up in the morning and, what am I going to do today? Within 5 years, I think we were at 2 to 3 million. And we've been kind of stuck at the $2 to $3 million a year for the past 10 years or so. So, I saw Rick's video and also made the phone call. It's about to turn 50. So this is a little bit over a year ago. And I was kind of like, oh, shit, I'm going to hit 50 and, my body ain't going to survive this. Not at this pace. So, I think over the years, we've made so many different attempts at implementing, at creating processes and somehow, we've had our ups and downs and things fall off, but I think this coming year, my focus is to kind of reinvent everything that we've done in the past. And I think one of the biggest things that historically has hurt us is hiring the wrong people, or not having the right team in place. So we're taking some steps, and I've never been a good hirer. I think Rusty said that himself. So we're reaching out to with the team that you guys use to hire the next to bring in the people that we need to grow. So once again, revisit and re-implementing. I've heard other stories from other contractors that it took years to make it happen. So we're on year one, and I think we're going in the right direction. So want to say again, thank you to everyone, and it was really great being on this call. And I heard a lot of people are on Builder Trend. I don't know if that's a thing for us. It's probably something I'm going to take a look at. It seems like everybody's happy with it. We've tried we do a lot of commercial construction. We've used Procore in the past. I think it was a little bit ahead of our time, but maybe Builder Trend is something that we take a look at moving forward. And that's pretty much it.
Top word of advice, if you have one.
Ooh, I have one for Angel.
I would say stay with it.
My word of advice.
And we've had our share of difficult clients here within the last year or two on a project over $1 million, which was, losing sleep over, kind of getting through that now. So, cover your ass, have documentation, emails, information. It just saves a lot of heartache. So.
Fantastic.
My other word of advice is over Angel's left shoulder. If you guys can see, he's got the master business flow chart printed up and taped up to the wall. And that would be my advice for everybody on the call is make sure that you are following a system, that you have a process. Like Angel just said, cover your ass, right? Get documentation in place to help you guide your vision and your process in your business. And that's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Angel.
Yeah, thanks.
Really love it. Great stuff. Hey, Zach volunteered, and I know you have to go, so I'm going to jump on Zach real quick. Let's hear from you and what you got for us.
All right, great, everybody. My name is Zach Gardner. My company is Syndicate Builders, Inc. We're based out of Temecula, California, which is, for those that don't know, between San Diego and Los Angeles. We've been in this area. Well, we grew up in this area, actually in San Diego County, but we moved here because I've been spending the last couple of years in the Los Angeles County working. But this is a great central location to cover all of Southern California. We also, the size of my company is very small. It's just I'm the president, and then my brother is my partner, and my dad, who has somewhat come out of retirement, has kind of become our consultant / he does some project management and pretty much anything we want to do, or want him to do for us. So this this past year we've been with this program since I think September, October, I believe is when. And once again, it was just I was on Facebook late one night, or Instagram, whichever one it was, and saw Rick's face as well. So, and I knew I needed to make progress in this company. We've only been an actual company for, I think, just now 4 years. So 4 years ago, I decided to take the leap of faith and start my own thing. we've been kind of between the $1 and $2 million range. This year's been a little bit on the lower end due to the fact that we've kind of just picked up and came down to Temecula. But we also cover other places. I'm licensed in Utah, so my dad's been up there, working on projects there. My brother's been in Montana, working on projects there. One thing that we're trying to do for 2024 is just regroup and start something fresh. That's why I joined this program, and it's mainly been I need to get organized, and that's going to be my thing to tell everyone. Words of encouragement is be organized, and I'm developing myself more as a professional company rather than a small family that loves to build houses, kind of thing like that. This year we started with getting a website, and it's fantastic. We've been each night I spend hours putting together a list of architects. I never knew that I would ever do that until I met you guys. That let's put a spreadsheet of architects to reach out to. With the whole PSA, that is something that is new to me as well. It's something that we do anyways, but now here we are, looking to get paid to do that stuff, and that just feels right, and that's wonderful. I honestly wish I could just do that for a living. That wouldn't be so bad. Just be a pre-construction, person, representative or a consultant. But still, I take value in actually seeing something go from dirt to a livable space, and I love it.
Awesome.
So, anyways, I'm setting my goals high. Luckily, we are in a wonderful area where we can take on high-profile projects. We sub majority, probably 95% of our work out, and we try to hire the right kind of subcontractors. Always a learning curve, and trying to find the right ones, because the good ones are always busy, and so you just gotta wine and dine them, and treat them for what they're worth, and I always believe that if you take care of somebody's going to take care of you. And so that's kind of been always my slogan. I guess it's kind of like the golden rule. But for 2024, if everything goes right, we could jump this thing right up to 10 million. I have a very high profile architect that I'm working with now, that has been passing me on a lot of stuff. Some reason he likes me. And I'm looking to just grab a whole bunch of them, because when I look at house and see all the local architects within the range that we want to cover just in Southern California, there's 10,000. So I'm not going to try to hit them all, but there's those kind of possibilities here, and it's fantastic. So being structured, with what I've just learned a little bit from contractors convergence to what I'm just dipping my toe into it. It's going to be fantastic. I'm grateful for what good knowledge I've learned, and we're going to thrive in 2024. Should be great. It should be fantastic. So looking forward to it.
Awesome, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. It's great to have you on board. It's great to get you in a big group meeting to meet everybody, and looking forward to doing more of it. Real quick, Ryan Maston, do you have time for a quick jump on, and then I want to wrap it up?
Yeah, this gets to be a bitter little pill for me, because I haven't really implemented anything.
That's not true.
You actually have. You identified a ton of problems in your company, and you've been fixing them.
Okay, we're starting over.
Yeah,
I love it.
We're starting over. I fired a general manager who wasn't performing. We did 2.6 million last year pool construction. We don't do houses, we do pools. And on that revenue, we lost 150 grand upside down. So I just met with my CPA today, and it looks like we're going to break even this year.
All right.
Yay.
So incremental improvements, and we didn't do anywhere near the revenue. We might be at like 1.1, maybe a little over $1 million over the next couple of weeks when we see what comes in. So the big thing for me is I'm not good at hiring people. Well, I haven't really hired anyone. And I need to figure out how to build the right team. That's what I need to focus on next.
That's what we're getting scheduled up for.
Huh?
That's what we're getting scheduled for. And you've identified part of the problem and know what the symptoms are. And so those, frankly, even just saying, hey, look, I figured out that I have way underperformers that need to go, that are taking the company down instead of providing value. Those are hard decisions, hard conversations to have, even internally within your own mind, to recognize that and then to have to take the steps. So those are big wins. Don't sell yourself short, Ryan. And you're among friends that every single person here has had to do what you are talking about at some point or another. In fact, I'm not sure if you were on when Jeff Pike was talking about that, and that was such a big deal for him, that he had a major key person that was not performing where he needed it to be and had to let him go. Congrats to you, man, for sticking through it. The restart's not comfortable, but there's all the future ahead, man. So what are you most proud of in this last period? Name one thing.
Yeah, breaking even.
Hell yeah.
Hey, that's
better than the other.
I fired him in September and I took over in October. So it's been like a little over 2 months, and pretty quickly I was able to see some really fast wins on how things were scheduled, I was tracking stuff, getting stuff, purchasing things where they should be purchased from instead of getting them on the fly is a big one. Saved a lot of money there. I mean, just getting rid of someone who wasn't performing, getting rid of him on payroll. Between those two things in 2 months, I was able to go from, we're going to have like a 10% negative, like lose over 100 grand on 1 million in revenue, to like, no losses.
Awesome.
That's fantastic, man. That's a win in and of itself. And trust me, I've seen construction companies with almost $500,000 in losses. And so be glad that you're not having to deal with that. Anyway, good for you. Top advice for anybody else?
I don't know that I have any advice, but I will say this. I'm glad that you guys had this call and that you encouraged me. I think you reached out yesterday, Rick, right?
Yes.
I saw there was like 30 some people on here, and everyone talking about how the PSA was such a big deal. I have not been able to get my sales guy on it, and it's new to him. He doesn't believe. I believe, and it's happening. It has to happen. I can see how that's how it's a screening.
Yes.
I can see how it screens people. I'm not sure exactly how to do it on a pool that's like 50 to 100 grand or more, as opposed to a house, because it seems that you can really display the value of what you're basically paying them to advertise for yourself, that they can build rapport with you and see what you're capable of. And I just can't get my sales guy to believe that. And it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if he's going to believe, because either he's going to do it or I'm going to do it.
Bingo. I love it. Love the attitude. Fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I want to go on record on saying the most dedicated client we've ever had. His handsome picture is up, but Charles, you are an amazing man. He's had some health issues, but I want to let everybody know he's been so dedicated that he showed up to a call as he came out of surgery and still under anesthetic. So this man was awesome. And we're looking forward to his health returning and being able to get back in the swing of things with our group here. So thanks for hanging in there, Charles, and really a pleasure to get to know you.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your support. And this year has been kind of pretty much a big challenge, but I really appreciate this meeting that we have today, because it's very encouraging. And I'm working on some things right now, and I don't want to talk about it just yet, but it's some positive things, and I hope to be able to tell you guys about it in the coming weeks. All right.
Sounds great, man. We're really excited to get you booked up on a one-on-one call so we can go deep on that. Charles, it's great to see your face. Gil as well. Fantastic to see you. Steve,
Yes.
thanks for hanging out for the whole thing. All of you guys, thank you
Did
for
Gil
hanging
want to
out
share
for the...
something is my question.
Oh yeah. If Gil, do you have anything you want to share, or were you just along for the ride today?
I guess I can share something.
Love to
Yeah,
hear.
watching all these big fish contractors out there, you know, that they already opened the road for us. We just got to follow that yellow brick road they already opened up for us. So we just got to stay focused and then the same frequency and try to pick up all the knowledge we can to move forward. You know, the system is already there. We just gotta um look up to all these big guys, you know, getting there and keep it professional, you know.
I
And
love it, man.
thank you guys to, you know, for getting all the group together and all the right people for, you know, for a good purpose, you know, helping people, help us, and just pass it on, you know, that good vibe. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got it.
Gil.
Absolutely.
I don't think I could have said it better. That is exactly the essence of doing all of this and why it is so powerful and why we really love all of the interactions that we get. And it doesn't matter how big or how small your company is, it's follow a process, have a system that works, do the things in your company that make a difference. And we talked about it at the beginning. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to do the you know, to think about what you're going to put into a project filter, the 6-week project filter, and think about, you know, over the next couple of weeks, the changes that you want to make, the things you want to implement in your business. Let's set up meetings in the beginning of the year and make sure that you're on track. Show up on those Tuesday implementation calls. They have been huge for people moving the needle, getting advice, getting help, talking through, you know, the challenges in the business. Every Tuesday, we have those meetings. So we're going to continue that in the new year. Next Tuesday, just for all of you to put on your calendar at a slightly different time, we are doing our holiday send-off. That will be Tuesday the 19th. It'll be 1 p.m. Pacific, so move backwards across the country, 1 p.m. Pacific to 4 p.m. Eastern, or whatever time zone you're in that correlates with that. But we're doing our Profit Legends holiday send-off. Feel free to show up with a beverage of your choice to cheers and toast, and tell a few more stories of what we're looking forward to for the new year, or anything that's kind of happened that we may have left out of today. So that's going to be the focus for next week. If you guys need us, book a call, get in touch, let us know. We are going to take, you know, the week off, primarily the middle of next week through the first of the year, to do holiday stuff with our families. We encourage you to do that with yours, and also to do some planning for 2024 for contractor convergence, so that we're ready to run the race with you and whatever your company has in store. We're really looking forward to everyone's success next year, and to help to be alongside you with that, and to guide the community so that all of us can be better in all of our businesses. And I can't thank you guys enough for being here today, for the inspirational stories, for all of the stuff. Jeff, can you give us a 5 or 10 top takeaways, or the big things that I know you were tracking them that people mentioned? Just give us the highlights reel, and just real quick.
I'm just going to read through some of these. Consistency with everything that they have implemented in the past. Setting up a good pre-con team equals client desires get to the guys in the field. Updating the PSA process and implementing the client journey. Giving more authority to superintendents, keeping jobs on schedule, changing from in-house labor to subcontractor work. This was really an important thing. And this was from Jordan at K Squared. He said, subs are more motivated to get things done. I want everybody to hear that, okay? And he's got happy customers due to schedule completion on time. Brad was interesting. He said integration of new practices with better estimating and new confidence. That's huge. Okay. Changing from cost plus to stipulated sum contracts. The pre-construction services are giving them more strength with their business and creating SOPs for customers in the sales process.
Awesome. Awesome.
Dan said he was slow on implementation, but do it Brad's way. Get in there and do it fast. Okay.
Get in there, go fast and break things. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you guys need inspiration for what to put in your project filter for, the first 6 weeks of the year, there's a huge list. We're obviously going to send out the recording and the transcript from all of this stuff.
Hey, what's that, Steve?
What's on your mind when you show us that, Steve?
Yes, Steve, tell us what you have to say. That was the last thing I was going to mention. A couple of you may not have gotten that yet, but I think most everybody has at this point.
When I was talking earlier and I said that I was kind of pushing myself out, and I just looked over at this book and it was like, yeah, this is kind of what I'm doing.
That's awesome.
Right.
Well, again, thank you guys. Hopefully we see you on Tuesday. And I really mean that. I have not been able to wipe this grin off my face for 2 hours here as we've been talking. It's been fantastic. In case we don't see you, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a New Year. We look forward to seeing you on the flip side.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks
really
all.
great to see you today.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.